PSA prices went up. What are we going to do? So it seems like the hot topic this week, month, or whatever is PSA raised their prices. If you want to go and see what those prices are, there's all kinds of other better YouTubers out there who have covered them. Nate, Everyday I'm Hustlin, did a really good video about the new prices, a breakdown of what each price gets you, max declared values, all that good stuff. I highly recommend you go check out his channel and his video when it talks about PSA prices and the increase. What are my thoughts on it? I mean, I don't want to say that I saw it coming, but I'm not surprised. PSA is a business, all right? They are they're not in it to, push the hobby further or anything like that, in my opinion. They're in it to make money, just like, some of us. Some of us are in there to, collect cards, sell cards to make money, to buy more cards, and so on and so forth. And PSA is a business. So I think the first reason they did it was a money grab. To kind of, getting cards graded right now is the hot thing to do. And they're going to try to grab as much money, get as much piece of that pie as possible. Second reason I think they raised their prices, let me give you a little bit of an analogy here. Say you got a basement, got a broken water pipe. Water is piling in. Are you going to go down and start pumping the water out first? Or are you going to try to stop or slow down the water coming out of the broken pipe? I use that analogy because PSA right now is so far behind on cards. I've heard, and I don't have anything to back it up, but it's what I've heard other YouTubers talk about, up to 1.5 million cards at PSA right now that have in the pipeline to be graded, and more showing up every day. So now with the price increase, you really got to look at the card and decide whether you want to send it in. I think it's a good thing that they're trying to get people to send less cards in. And I don't think the answer for PSA is hire more people, grade cards faster. Because the faster you grade cards, if you want your PSA grader to look at your card and go, yep, that's an 8. Yep, that's a 4. Yep, that's not what you want. You want your PSA grader to take their time, do a quality job in grading the card, getting you the best grade possible. And so the answer is not get the cards and speed them through the system. They need to uphold their quality, because you don't want a high quality card coming back in a lower grade because they sped through the system. So speeding up the process, hiring more people to speed the process up is not the answer. They need to, of course, yes, catch up. They need to do something to, get their card count down and get the cards that are already there back to the people who have already submitted in. And so one of the ways they could do that is raising their prices. Because what it's going to do, it's going to make people like you and I who are submitting cards look at our cards a little bit more, have a little more, finer eye on that card. So what is that? That makes me now look I'm not going to send in this absolute Jordan Love now, because the price to grade this card now, if it doesn't come back in a 10, more than likely I'm going to be losing money. I'm now only going to think about only sending in cards that I think are going to grade high and are going to have a higher value when I send them in. So those are the two main reasons I think that they, of course, raise their prices. They want to get as much as they can out of you and I to send cards in. And two, I think it's going to kind of make people really slow down their submissions. Will people still submit to PSA? Absolutely. I'll still submit to PSA. However, I'm not going to send in, just some, random base card anymore of a player. It's only going to be kind of stuff that, one, I think is going to be high end, and two, is going to grade higher and, of course, has a better chance of grading a 10. Because a lot of the stuff I like to send in is some of the more the vintage type cards. And now if I don't think those vintage cards are going to get at least bare minimum a 9, then I'm just absolutely not going to send it in. Because I'm kind of one of the people, like if I get an 8, okay, that's fine. But I'm now only going to send cards in that I think are going to get at least, a 9, 9.5, or a 10. The second part of that for me is I'm only going to send in cards that I believe are going to at least double, if not triple, in value. So to me, bare minimum, if you look at it, you send in a card in regular with no fast track or any of that type of stuff. Express, I think, is the term that they use it. Bare minimum, you're looking at with shipping to them and then back to you for one card. You're looking at about a $35 just to grade one card. So that card, on top of that, you will need to add the price of the card into it. So if I paid $25 for a card and now I'm sending that card in, now I'm looking at almost $40 investment in that card. And that card better come back in a high enough grade to net me after, fees and sales, I need to be able to recoup that money, not break even or make $10. That's not, sending graded cards in that I plan on reselling. To me, it's not worth it. So for me, that means that I am going to set a dollar amount, meaning that the cards that I send in, they have to hit that number that I think, either 9, 5, or 10, and they need to increase the value over $200 of what I paid for the card and to get the card graded. So that's for me how I am going to handle PSA for now. I do not see in the foreseeable future, the next year or so, for PSA to drop the price at all. I actually think that by the end of the year, they're going to raise the prices again. Because at the end of the day, people are still sending in cards, and they, again, are having to battle the amount of cards that are coming in. And they, again, the only way they can do that is somehow slow the amount of cards to come in. Do they want to slow it down to a point where cards are just trickling in? No, and I absolutely don't think that'll happen. People are still going to send in cards. And again, I don't see the price of grading cards coming down at all in the next year, 2 years at all. I only see that price continue to rise and rise and rise. Maybe the next 3 years, they'll drop that submission price down to back to, not at least a normal level. I don't see them if they raise it up to to get a card graded at 40. I don't think they'll go back down to 15. I think from probably here on out, we as card submitters are probably going to pay bare minimum, and just for the regular submission and regular turnaround time, not any time of the upper levels where you're trying to get cards back within 30 days or 2 weeks or however it is. I don't see great cards getting graded for less than $25 from here on out. I really think that price where we're at now is going to roll up at least one more time within the year. Within the next year or so after that, probably roll up again. And I just don't see card grading prices for PSA dropping down. What are some other strategies to do? The other strategies to do is maybe try some of the other grading companies. SGC seems to stay at the same price. They've only gone up a few times. Some of the lower grading companies, such as GMA, have turnaround times that are between 1 and 4 weeks. So, you could go with that. However, again, a lot of people look at GMA as kind of not even in the ballpark of a Beckett, a PSA, or even SGC. They're kind of still way down there. I am seeing a lot more of their cards on eBay and on other platforms. However, they are not going to hit that value of the top three of Beckett, PSA, and SGC. Another thing that you can do is get into group submissions. Group submissions sometimes you can get into if you send in a large amount of cards, part of a big group. Then that amount that you pay for the grade could come down by a few bucks. But again, you got to find the right group, somebody that you trust, somebody that you don't think is going to take advantage of you, somebody who, too, is going to look over the cards that you're submitting, give you an honest opinion, and not take your money just to send the card in to get graded to get a lower grade. Nate, every day I'm hustling here. He's the person I do my group submissions for. He does a really good job. He has, to me personally, we're pals, rejected 2 cards of mine saying, hey, I'm not going to send these cards for you because they will not grade high. And you know what? That's perfectly fine with that because, again, I don't want to send cards in that are not going to grade high. Other things you could do is go ahead and sell the card raw. Again, if it's a base card that's not going to net you a big profit or a enough profit to make it make sense for you, just get out of the card. Don't waste the time and the money, because again, things that you need to account for when you want to get a card is how much you paid for the card, how much you paid to have it shipped to you, how much you're going to have to pay to ship the card to, PSA or your group submitter, the amount it's going to cost to get the card graded, and then shipping back to you. And then again, if you're using a group submitter, shipping it back from your group submitter. So there's a lot of hidden costs and fees into grading. So make sure that a card that you're going to send in makes sense. Another strategy is to, of course, buy only graded cards. There are people all over YouTube that buy lower tiered cards or lower graded cards, and their whole process is to buy a PSA 5 and trade up to get a 6. They grab the PSA 5 that they have, throw another lower graded card with it, and trade up and trade up and trade up until they get to a 9 or 10 or whatever it is that they want. It's a long term investment game. Yes, you're going to get into it very low. You may pay $5 or $10 for a rookie of somebody on that lower tier in that 6-7 range, and then you're going to have to consistently hit your local selling apps, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, or wherever it is that you buy, sell, trade cards, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, wherever it is. And again, you're going to have to find that right person to, of course, keep trading that card. You'll have a low grade investment, but over the long term, it's going to take some time to be able to finally get to that card that you want. Example of that, as I hear just recently, I bought this Beckett 9.5 Ndamukong Suh. It's just a score. It is his rookie. It is a 9.5. Paid $5 for this card. On eBay, this card goes for $10, $15, even in a 9.5. It's not a highly sought after card right now. Ndamukong Suh is still playing. When he retires, maybe his cards will go up, a few dollars. Nothing all that. I don't think it's going to jump, way up there. But when he does retire, a lot of times you do see some spikes in some of the better players. Is he on that tier of one of the good players in the league? I think he's right on that cusp. I think winning a Super Bowl does help him, but I think some of his, his attitudes, the fact that he's played for so many teams over his career, kind of keeps him below that. Yeah, he was one of the great players of this game. My whole plan with this card is to trade out of it. Find somebody who is either a Detroit Lions fan, a Ndamukong Suh fan, get this card traded to him, trade up to something else, maybe throw in some other, cards that person may be looking for, and take my $5 investment and trade up to maybe a $40 investment or something along that line. Other things that you could do as well is send your raw cards to websites like StarStock. StarStock is a website where you send cards into, and essentially they hold them for you. You sell them on their platform, and it's a buy, sell, trade website, and you could get out of some of those lower tiered rookies and into some better cards. That's what I use StarStock for. I send in a bunch of 2020 draft Prism, and paid. I ended up with only three boxes of that stuff, and of the cards that I've sent in, of what I've sold so far, I've made over $120. So if I bought 3 boxes at $20 a piece, it's a $60 investment. I've already doubled my money by just selling the lower tiered rookies on the StarStock website. So essentially what I'm saying when it comes to cards and the market now is that you have to diversify. If your whole game is buying raw cards, sending it in, getting it graded, and then selling the graded cards, that is a little bit tougher now. Now, maybe that's going to be one part of your strategy. Maybe sending cards into StarStock will be your second part of your strategy. Or now just selling raw cards outright could be a part of your strategy as well. You just have to figure out which one works for you. And for some of you, spending $20, $25, $35 a card to get it graded, you're okay with that. You know what? And if that's you, then great, that's fine. However, that's not me. I don't have that type of income with my card business right now to be able to spend that type of money on getting cards graded. So those are my thoughts on PSA raising their prices right now. Again, I don't see the prices coming down anytime soon, not within the next 3 years. And even if the prices do come down, they're not going to come down to what they were a year ago or anything like that. So hope you liked this video. If you did, if you can, down there, give me that thumbs up. Also, too, comment. Tell me if I'm wrong. More than likely, somebody out there thinks I'm wrong. And, tell me why you think I'm wrong. I can... I have no problems, with people telling me that I'm, stupid for thinking that way, or my thoughts or my strategies are incorrect. I've got no problem with that, because I think this hobby there's all types of different strategies to, push this hobby. Again, straight up collecting, just getting it to invest, buy, sell, trade, whatever your strategy is. There is always a strategy for everybody, and that works for everybody. So again, thanks for watching my videos, and as I always say, be safe and always have a good day.